Let's talk to Sputnik Ratau now, as government is working on finding ways to deal with the effects of climate change leading to water shortages in South Africa. And we're joined via Zoom by the Director of Communications at the Department of Water Affairs, Sputnik Ratau. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks as always for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon, Flo, and good afternoon to the viewers, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're most welcome. Well, of course, South Africa is, the water situation in South Africa is becoming quite the challenge year by year. And with the effects of climate change, it seems that things are deteriorating further. How is the department dealing with all these factors and as they come together like this?
Well, all of these have got an impact on the work of the department, especially in terms of forward-looking scenario planning, obviously planning for new infrastructure, and looking at the issues of refurbishment of old infrastructure, as well as just keeping, our infrastructure in optimal operation, and so on and so forth. So those kind of thoughts are actually at the top of mind, and that is why we actually have a unit that deals with issues of climate change and the impact on water services, which also, by the way, works hand in glove with the national climate response team.
Yeah, where there is a shortage of water or there is no water, how would the improving or fixing of that infrastructure help at all?
Well, in essence, if there is no infrastructure at all, then it means that the issue is to find ways of bringing infrastructure to the area. Obviously, if it is before we can be able to put, all the formal infrastructure that can then take water to the tap or the home of anybody, then we would look at what we call the RDP standards, where we would have communal taps within regulated distances from homes, in order to avoid the very issue that we were raising earlier about people, getting water from streams, people using water that might not be healthy, and so on and so forth. So it is part of what we have to look at. Obviously, we have to do that, working very closely with local government as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the issue of illegal connections. In the story I read just before we spoke to you, was talking to a situation in Mpumalanga. Of course, there's a criminal element that is there when it comes to illegal connections of any kind, but it also does speak to the sort of desperation that perhaps residents find themselves in. And what do you say about that, where people, are really not having that basic human right of access to water?
Yes, it is a huge problem, because on the one hand, it is regarded as an easy way of resolving an ongoing difficulty. And at the same time, it then exacerbates the issue of interrupted water supply, especially to higher lying areas, or especially in areas where you do not have infrastructure that operates to the extent that it can withstand those illegal interruptions. And by the way, illegal connections don't also just speak to the issue of my connecting to a pipe as an individual, but you also have illegal connections by big business, by agriculture, and so on and so forth. And that is why part of what is the rationale behind the enforcement unit in the department is to look at those very issues of transgression, because any illegal activity is a transgression.
Yeah. All right. Now, as we wrap up our conversation then, and we do understand that after years of service in the communications field, you are calling it a day. You are indeed retiring today. Well, let's talk about how you feel about that. You've been chatting to us on a regular about these water issues. What are you to remember in all these years of communications?
There's a whole amount of work to remember, but part of what you also remember is when you are, as government, as a department that represents government in this particular sector, where you have seen actual delivery happen and you have seen the satisfaction and the happiness of anybody who has all of a sudden, after all the years, even growing up without those services reaching them, then all of a sudden they are able to actually access, water from close by, water that is treated. They are able to utilize, sanitation facilities that are actually dignified. I remember an instance which happened years ago, but it's stuck in my mind, where we went to Takastad in the Eastern Cape for sanitation activities. And this old lady, then at 83, had never used a flushing toilet before. And on being able to receive such a service, which we generally take for granted, it was like, sunshine has just come into her life for the first time. So it is those small issues that actually tell that when you have done something and it has brought some relief to people, no matter whether they are 2, 10, or 10,000, there is a sign of progress. And obviously, there is also the issue that has got to be top of mind in all the work of government: accountability and responsibility, which is something that will always assist in ensuring that services are delivered.
All right, Ntate Ratau, all the best to you, and thanks for always availing yourself to us here when we need to talk to you.